live and direct from the Golden State. It's intelligent talk media, the Denise Gary Show. Now, here's Denise Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Denise Gary Show here on Monday, March 4th. It's so good to be back with you this week. Today I wanted to invite Lynn Wyman. Lynn Wyman has been involved with Republican women since 1978. She became a charter member of the Tehachapi Republican Women Federated in 86. She has served in numerous positions as well as president in 1991 and again in 2009 through 2012. She's been involved with the California Federation of Republican Women State and Central Division. She was the Central Division first vice president, and then she served as the 2016-2017 Central Division president. She also serves as a delegate to the California Republican Party, which is why I again wanted to have her on today to talk about the new Latina woman who's supposed to lead a historic Republican comeback here in the Golden State. So Lynn has been a delegate to the California Republican Party. She's going to tell us how she became a delegate, how you can become a delegate. We want grassroots people to become delegates and vote. And she's also a member of the Kern County Central Committee, and Lynn's going to tell us how we can become a member of the Kern County Central Committee. She is also the co-founder and first vice president of the Antelope Valley chapter of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and has served on the Kern County MAD Board of Directors. Lynn Wyman, such an honor to have you back on the broadcast today. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
We just want to start off right away. I want to share with the audience some statements that 38-year-old Jessica Patterson made clear as the new elected leader of the California GOP. She started off talking about how we're going to be about winning. We're going to be all about one thing, and that's winning. She was endorsed by Kevin McCarthy, the minority leader in the House of Representatives. She's been backed by other Trump supporters, key Trump supporters, not just McCarthy, but U.S. Representative Devin Nunes, 2 state Republican National Committee members. I understand that, the delegates were told by Shannon Grove, our state senator. I don't know about Vince Vaughn. I didn't hear anything about anyone from his office, but we certainly know that our elected leaders that have been Trump supporters supported her. And yet we keep, by the way, Mr. Producer, I'm hearing an echo. I don't know why. Maybe we've got the sound up. So ladies and gentlemen, we've got key representatives in the state assembly or state senate and in the House of Representatives supporting Jessica Patterson. And yet, Lynn, I was looking at a post, and it referred to this Jessica Patterson as somebody that is really not a true Trump supporter, is not a true conservative. She's a moderate, among other things. What do you know? You were there. You were there for the election. What happened?
Yes, I was a delegate to the convention a week ago. Quite frankly, I never even heard of Jessica Patterson until just a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks ago, but a few months ago, when she put her name in to run for chairman of the California Republican Party. I did learn after she announced that she was going to run that she was the CEO of the California Trailblazers, and that's an organization that recruits and trains candidates. But during her tenure, I think she started in 2011, we've lost Republican seats. And just this last time around in November, we lost 13 seats. And in fact, one recruit, the San Diego Republican Assemblyman, Brian Mitchin, He won the general election in November as a Republican, but then he switched to a Democrat soon after, which caused the Democrats to become
the supermajority.
Supermajority in
Right.
the assembly.
Right. Lynn, why is it then? Why do you think she's the first woman to lead the California GOP, and she's a Latino woman? Do you think the leadership that chooses the delegates? Do you think it was all about identity politics and the Republicans thinking to themselves? The Republicans that are elected leaders thinking to themselves, we need to pick a woman, and it would be good if she's Hispanic, because this is, these are the politics that the Democrats play. They play identity politics, right. And so this would be a good pick. Do you think that's what it's all? In light of what you just said, you just told the audience that several Republicans lost their seat thanks to her, or under her leadership. Maybe not thanks to her, but under her leadership.
Right. She didn't train all of the legislators, but several of them are under her
tutelage
organization. Yeah, they recruited and they trained them, and but we lost the 13 legislative seats this last time around. So yes, when you're talking about identity politics, I think we shouldn't worry about how we're perceived, but rather based on our achievements. And I didn't see, when I was researching her, I didn't see many achievements. She, in fact, was on Meg Whitman's campaign. That was a losing campaign for us. She was on Arnold Schwarzenegger's campaign, and you know how he turned out.
Yes.
And then John McCain also, and just recently John Cox's, all losing campaigns. So I didn't see really any successes.
Well, do you have any inside information, Lynn? Do you have any inside information about why then our minority leader in the House, Kevin McCarthy, or Devin Nunes, who I just love, do you have any idea why they would come alongside and choose Jessica if it wasn't about identity? Or maybe it was about identity politics, but you're saying, you yourself want to just pick the best person that's going to get Republicans elected. But is there any information you have about why then she was chosen, considering she was involved with 4 failed candidates?
Well, I have my own thoughts, whether they're right or not. Is another thing, but I kind of believe that it's a control sort of thing, and the power of the legislators, how they pick their candidates. I feel that the grassroots and the base of the party are not their voices are not being heard, but I think it's a control situation.
Why are they controlling it for a moderate Republican? Why aren't they putting their support and influence and power behind a more conservative candidate, this pro-Trump? These people that supported Jessica Patterson are pro-President Trump. So what's that about?
Yes. So many of the delegates there were so. And I have to say, many of them voted for her as well.
Right, why?
But I think it's because they think California is a very liberal state. And so I think that their thought is that if they go more moderate to left, then they'll lose the seat or win seats. But that simply has not happened.
That hasn't worked, right? That doesn't work. So you believe, bottom line, is the reason why pro-Trump members in the state legislature and in the national legislature, there in the House of Representatives, that they came out and supported Jessica Patterson because she's more moderate and therefore will be able to appeal to more voters. That's your thought?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us.
The bottom line.
Yeah, that sounds like your bottom line. So tell us, Lynn, we also heard a lot of problems concerning the delegates. That these delegates are not elected, that these delegates are basically chosen. These delegates could be staffers for these elected representatives, staffers or consultants. And, you know, it sounds like you, from what I understand, they're told how to vote. How does somebody that's listening to the Denise Gary show, how do they learn how to become a delegate and get, you know, more grassroots conservatives in there so they can vote for a leadership, a California GOP leadership that's more conservative? How does that happen, Lynn?
Well, just to be a part of the party, just you can become a member of the Central Committee, which kind of governs and makes the bylaws for the party of the county.
How does somebody become a member, Lynn? How does somebody become a member?
You become a member. All of the statewide office holders, and the GOP nominees, the Board of Equalization, Congress, Senate, State Senate, and Assembly, they are delegates, and they have the appointment authority.
So if somebody like me wanted to become a member of the Republican Central Committee, I make a phone call to Vince Fong or Shannon Grove and say, would you please appoint me? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and I think they gauge it on how active you are in the party, if you contribute to, not necessarily monetarily, but how much your activeness is. So, in the party, and I think they look at that. But then also, I think especially telling with this last convention that so many of the delegates were staffers, paid staffers, and consultants, and I don't think that you get a real objective view on what the people of California want, at least the Republican Party. You know, it's hard to fight against your own party over these kinds of issues when, you know, there's a bigger enemy out there. So
right.
I think we're being pushed on the sidelines and not being listened to.
She said, one thing that Patterson said as the first woman to lead the party, she labeled Democrats as the enemy, calling on Republicans to unite to oppose the policies and practices of the Democrats. Is she pro-life, or where does she stand on that?
Yes, she is. She is pro-life.
Very good. And I understand that she supported, you know, she understands that registration efforts are extremely important to get people registered to vote Republican. And I
Correct.
understand that Travis Allen, who ran for the governor of the state of California, that she appointed Travis Allen and Steve Frank, who's been involved in party politics for years, appointed those two men to be in charge of the voter registration for Republicans. That's a really good thing, right, Lynn?
Yes, that was. She made that statement in her after she was elected as chairman, and I thought that was a really good way to reach out to not only the two other men that ran for chairman, but also those of us that do the voter registration. You know, they used to have a bounty for it, so I think we need to get back to those kinds of things in the party, the voter registration.
When was the last time, Lynn? When was the last time that we actually had any Republican leadership involved with a registration drive? I mean, where was that statewide leadership?
I think it was during, how many years has it been? 2006?
Wow.
Or maybe 2008. It was when Ron Naring was the chairman, and he did have a bounty. So like the Republican women, you know, that was an incentive to get out there and register new voters
What was an incentive,
because they
Lynn?
got a bounty for it.
They got a bounty for it. They
Yeah,
got
They
paid.
can use it for their clubs.
Oh, okay. So they were rewarded monetarily for getting more voters out there to vote Republican, and as you say, that enriched their local Republican women
Exactly.
groups. Okay.
Yes, exactly. In turn, they're able to get out there and do more voter registration with that, or just the different
And so
projects and programs that they, are out there trying to get more Republicans registered.
so the last time we had that, you say, was what, 2008, 2009?
Something like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
10 years ago. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's been that way. But that was one of the things that both Steve Frank and Travis Allen talked about, is bringing back the bounty.
Bringing back voter registration, getting
Yeah.
teams out there to get it done. Well, that's
Right, because
excellent.
the Democrats, they paid their people to get out there and register.
Ballot harvesting.
Yeah, ballot harvesting, exactly.
Get people out there, go walk door to door, knock on their door. I mean, if it's good enough for Democrats, why weren't the Republicans doing it?
Well, that's right. That was some of the questions too
You know,
at the convention.
where do you think, have you heard anything about where she's going to land on, the cap and trade system? Republicans, here in California, back in 2013, under who was it? Jerry Brown was governor in 2013. Is that correct, Lynn?
Yes, it was.
Governor.
Well, Schwarzenegger was really the one that pretty much started it.
Yeah, but I think it was
But it
Jerry
didn't
Brown
come
that
in,
signed it into
it
law.
was not passed until Jerry Brown was the governor. I think in 2012 or 13. Yeah.
13. Now, ladies and gentlemen, cap and trade. That's major policies passed by Democrats that were to be applied to our bills. The bills we pay to the electric company, PG&E, the gas company, industrial plants, natural gas, anything to do with natural gas and oil, electricity. So the Democrats passed these group of bills that said, we want to lower greenhouse gas emissions, so we're going to raise the prices for every Californian on these energy issues. So that's why our bills keep going up higher and higher and higher.
Right. It's the capping of and controlling the greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere.
And raising.
And then a lot of companies can't stay within those limits. So the trade part of it is that they have to buy emission permits to allow for more greenhouse or carbon into the air.
So the more they have to buy, the more they pass the cost
And
of
they pass
it
it
to
on
us.
to the consumer. Exactly.
Right. So our prices keep getting higher and higher and higher thanks to the legislation that the Democrats passed. And of course, the greenhouse gas emissions are based on somebody's computer model prediction. And those computer model predictions have already been found time and time again on a variety of issues to be inaccurate and false. So, and of course, then there's China and India that are doing nothing.
Right, exactly.
But we're suffering here in California with bills that are running out, running up into the sky. We've got sky-high bills in paying our gas and electric.
That's right. And you mentioned that they have proven that the cap and trade is not working like they thought it would. So it was supposed to end in 2020, but just last year, 2017, they voted to extend it for 10 more years to 2030. So that kind of tells me that, well, it's not working like we want, so we need to push on and
It's like the high-speed rail They couldn't get it built in a timely manner. They kept raising our taxes, and they said it was for our highways and our freeways and our roads, you know, the gas tax. But yet they spend a negligible amount on actually improving our roads, and it went to all kinds of other products like the high-speed rail, only to be told by Gavin Newsom in the State of the State address this year that, oh, well, he's canceling it after billions of dollars and taxpayers have been trying to fund that mess since, what, 2008?
And the federal money that the president has said that
he wants back.
He wants it back, and Newsom has stated that he wasn't going to get it back. So, you know, that leaves the taxpayers still paying for something that's not going to happen.
Exactly. This is the leadership. This is the work of Democrats in the state of California. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why everyone needs to tune in to the Denise Gary Show 5 days a week at 5 here on Facebook, the Denise Gary Show, or go to my YouTube channel. YouTube channel for all your friends and family that don't have Facebook, don't bother with Facebook. They can listen to the Denise Gary Show on YouTube every day. They can go to iTunes. They can go to SoundCloud. They can go to internet radio like Talk America. What is it?
Talk America Radio.
Talk America Radio. I'm there on internet radio. Find out what's going on. I mean, learn what's going on. The Democrats have made our life increasingly more difficult. Let's talk about what happened real quick in this last election. I hope that this Jessica Patterson is going to turn this around. Let's talk about California Proposition 14 in 2010, when even some Republicans thought it was clever to support a nonpartisan ballot. We call it the jungle primary. Tell us about that, Lynn.
Well, a lot of the Republicans initially were not for the Prop 14. So I think it was last year or the year before, there was a resolution within the CRP to repeal the Prop 14, but that didn't get passed within our own delegation, California Republican delegation.
Why?
I can't tell you. I don't understand it.
Because,
I don't
ladies
know
and gentlemen, this is what happened. We wound up having 2 Democrats to vote for.
Exactly.
In
And nobody's been able, none of the people that have, they just do a pat sort of answer, like we feel that this is best, or we rather the Democrats fight among themselves than fight against the Republicans. Well, yeah, they're going to fight against themselves when they're the 2 top vote getters.
The point is that doesn't get a Republican elected, and it doesn't give that Republican to take his message to the general election. It hurts Republicans. Why can't Republicans see that if you're going to have a nonpartisan primary, that means that people here in California can wind up for 2 Democrats for the state attorney general's seat, and there's no Republican that can then get his or her message out in order to even sway voters. So at least we have a Republican campaigning against a Democrat, and there's the hope for a Republican to be elected. This is wrong.
It is wrong, and I think I think that our leaders within the state have a defeatist attitude about the Republicans and the grassroots. They've lost so many times that I feel like as long as they keep their seats and keep their positions, they're okay.
But they're not keeping their seats because the Republicans lost, 13 seats?
13 in the last, So
right, we're not keeping our seats.
I don't understand that mentality.
I don't either. So who's going in front of Jessica Patterson, our new California GOP leader, and talking to her about this issue?
Who is going to?
Who's going to confront her on this and talk to her and get something done about it?
Well, I think the grassroots and the base have been so disenfranchised through this election that there are people out there within the party that want to keep this in the forefront and let people know about it so that we can change it. So much of what goes on within the party, the regular citizens that are out there working day after day don't know about it.
Right.
They don't know why their gas and their utilities go up.
Yeah, because the Democrats passed legislation to make it happen.
Exactly. Yes, it's a defeatist attitude, I feel. That's my opinion.
What are you and I going to do about it, Lynn? What can we do? I mean, we can share the show out. We need to do that to people we know that are Democrats and independents to try to get the message out.
Right. Especially to the independents. Independents in California have a higher registration than Republicans now.
We've got to reach them.
We need to bring them back into the fold. We need to bring them back into believing that our party is going to be for the best interests of the citizens of California.
Well, I know we might have fewer homeless people if they could afford to actually live in an apartment and pay their utility bills. But if the Democrats keep raising the rate, and you know the Democrats raised the rate again this last year because they wanted to help PG&E pay for all of its numerous lawsuits.
Exactly.
Due to the fire and not properly monitoring their equipment in the field. So now we've got to pay for that too. But we've got to get that message out, as you said, to independents and more conservative Democrats in the state that might vote Republican if they knew some of this.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me ask you two things before I let you go. First of all, I want to know, are you with me on saying to the folks in the Republican Party here in California, whether you're conservative or moderate or somewhere in the middle between a conservative and a moderate, we're going to have to really work together despite your thoughts on Jessica Patterson and the leadership. We're going to have to talk to her. We're going to have to talk to the leaders. We're going to have to work together. We've got to get Republicans elected so we can actually have people in office that are going to support a free market economy, not move us closer and closer to socialism, so we can have people in here that are pro-life, that you heard the latest bill, Lynn, where Democrats here in California want to have a Planned Parenthood number, the phone number of Planned Parenthood on every student ID in the state, so they can always call and get that abortion if they wind up pregnant. Did you hear about that, Lynn?
I haven't. I did not hear about that.
That just came out. I'll tell you, it's been put out by a guy named Jesse Gabriel. He's an assemblyman. He got a lot of money from Planned Parenthood, and he just recently introduced it, Lynn. It's AB 624. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to put Planned Parenthood's phone number in the pocket of every California student from the age of 12 to 24.
Wow.
That's evil.
That is evil. And
That's evil.
New York has done and other states are doing, it's mind-boggling to think that the Democrats are going along with this. And here in the state, we have no choice. We don't get Republicans elected.
But you didn't hear about the bill. I bet you.
But I didn't know. I have not.
I bet you every one of my listeners hadn't heard about it.
Wow.
I bet every one of my listeners listening to my show today, Monday, March 4th, didn't even know about AB 624. And the fact that they're paying for these children who are 12 years old and 13 years old in their middle schools up and down the state of California. We're paying the taxes for these children to be in junior high and high school or middle school. And of course, the state provides grants and things for those in junior college. I mean, this is going to affect every public school student or public university student from the age 12 to 24. And of course, this is backed by a Democrat, and Planned Parenthood supports, aborting your babies up until the day they're to the day they're to be born, because they want to sell the body parts.
Right.
They want to make money selling a baby's body parts.
And this just infringes on the parental rights of our their children.
Certainly does.
They're not going to have any say on how they're educated, on how they medically or anything that has anything to do with their livelihood. And parents' rights are being chipped away. I'm not even saying chipped away. It's taking chunks out of it day by day. And then unless, I don't care if you're Republican, Independent, or
Democrat.
Conservative Democrat, you can allow this to happen to our kids.
You can't allow it because you don't want the murder of unborn infants. You don't want to promote the concept in society that says that, well, not all life is important, not all life is valuable. You don't want to promote an ideology that basically says to our Judeo-Christian civilization here in the United States, that tells our young people, life isn't valuable. I mean, if you want to live in a country where life isn't valuable, go to a socialist country like Cuba or Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah.
Yeah, or go to Nicaragua. Go to some of the Central American and South American countries that life is not a valued a commodity. Go to the Middle East, where Islamists are stoning women, whether they're female children or women, for the slightest offenses, and they're being slaughtered or beaten to death. I mean, if you don't value life, go live someplace else. But we certainly don't want to have, we certainly don't want to keep promoting this. It reminds me of Obama during his presidency, when under his health care, socialized medicine, socialized insurance scheme, would be able to tell the elderly whether or not they could get their drugs or surgery because their life wasn't as valuable as a young person's life. Because after all, they were elderly, right? They didn't have anything to contribute. Exactly. And yet elderly people have so much to contribute to our society.
Exactly. And I think we see the effects of that. We don't take care of our veterans. We don't take care of our elderly, the way they should be. And you're right. They should be valued, just like the unborn child should be valued. It's a human life. And once we devalue that, citizens will just be accepted.
It promotes a culture of death is what it does, and that's not the kind of culture that our Judeo-Christian values embrace.
Yes.
Lynn, I want to thank you for sharing out that Jessica Patterson is pro-life. That's really important. So are you with me on telling the audience that, despite your conservative values or your moderate values, we're really going to have to pull together and start working together?
Yes, I do. She is our chairman of our party. And I think she saw with the convention that there were many, many delegates there that were grassroots, that did support Travis Allen or Steve Frank. And she has to understand that the reason she got elected was because of the staffers and the consultants, period. Our own Kern County delegation was made up with staffers and consultants. So she has to see that, and hopefully she'll, take some suggestions from those that feel disenfranchised by the party.
We'll try to get her on the broadcast to discuss some of these issues, and try to influence her. People, let's not give up here in California. Some of us have to live here in California until we get maybe other opportunities elsewhere. We're here, our families are here, our businesses are here. Not everybody can just pack up and move.
That's right. My family is here. They've been here for generations.
Right.
And I don't see them going, and I'm going to be here, but I want to make it better for my children and my grandchildren.
Right. I was just going to say,
I don't want them to live in a society that does not have any value on life.
I can't see you, Lynn Wyman, moving away from your children, your baby grandchildren. I know you're going to be right here in California.
No, I would not. I would not. I have them pretty close to me, so I'm very fortunate. So we'll stick it out. They're involved too. My son-in-law ran for city council and just lost by a few votes. So
he's got to run again, Lynn. You got to tell him you got to run again.
Yeah, I know. I think he got the bug. So, but so I'm proud of my kids that they have their foundation is
Solid.
on conservative, solid, and they want to be active too.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to announce right here on the air today. I want to become a member of the Republican Central Committee. Now, is that for so that's a countywide seat, is that right?
Right, and
okay. Well, I want to do it. Who do I contact, Lynn?
Well, you know what? You can just start coming to the meetings. They're every second Monday of the month.
Okay.
It starts at 6 o'clock at the the security place on Rosedale Highway.
Well, send me an email and I'll share it out with other people that may want to get on the Central Committee.
Yes, I would like to see more people being involved.
Well,
in the
you
Central
send me
Committee.
the information and I'll publicize it.
Okay, sounds great.
Ladies and gentlemen, my email address to anyone that has questions or comments or wants to share information that they like to get out there is the Denice Gary Show. Denice is Denice, Gary Gary, the Denice Gary Show at gmail.com. And Lynn, you've got my personal email address, so you can just send it there. Lynn,
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on the broadcast today. We really appreciate you and all the fine work you do for the Republican Party.
Well, thank you. I'm a Republican through and through, and there's times where I want to give up, but I can't.
Don't you dare give up, Lynn. Don't you dare
No,
give
I
up.
won't. I don't think I have the ability to do that. Too
No,
much
you
at
don't.
stake.
No. We're not going to let you. Okay. We'll talk next time. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
so welcome. I hope you'll come on again soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go to a break. Let's hang up there. We've got to go to a break. We're running late. I can't. There's some stuff going on in this state. I wanted to tell you about this new California bill on Planned Parenthood and the fact that the state of California, once again, let me tell you about this new lawsuit by Javier Becerra. I've got the latest information to share out about the intolerance of the left here in the state of California and across the Democratic Party. And wait till you hear about this new thing with regards to SpaceX. Ladies and gentlemen, so much more when we come back on the Denice Gary Show. Thank you for listening.
I want to tell you about a place I love to go. Frugatti's Italian Restaurant. Very few locations here provide seating outside in front of a fabulous water fountain with an atmosphere that is reminiscent to me of eating outdoors in Venice. This is real Italian food by real Italians. And what makes it even more so is owner Ralph Frugoletti, who nearly a quarter century ago brought a wood fire oven from Milan, Italy to make, like his mother, fresh homemade bread and pizzas. Moreover, Frugatti's Restaurant offers you not only the very best in Southern Italian cooking, even importing the finest ingredients for authentic Italian food, including a fitness menu. After all, Ralph has represented the United States and Italy, competing in the Master Championship Games. He knows all the right food for good fitness, so check out the menu. After today's broadcast, run over to Frugatti's Italian Restaurant and Catering at 600 Coffee Road here in Bakersfield. And after a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday service, stop into Frugatti's for a great lunch. I'll see you there, and tell Mr. Ralph Frugoletti that Denice sent you. Salute. Buon appetito.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to legal matters, contact Barb Reynolds. She is a contract paralegal to lawyers, and she will take good care of you. Moreover, she is a Kern County legal document assistant to pro per litigants. She has 47 years of paralegal experience, and for over 30 years has been an educator in the field of law and paralegal work. If you need help handling your adoption, bankruptcy, civil suit, divorce, debt consolidation, evictions, immigration, or attorney referrals. Contact Barb Reynolds if you want to win your case. Call Tehachapi Court Services today at 661-822-1994. Barb is simply the best. Call Tehachapi Court Services today at 661-822-1994.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so thrilled I've got the owner of Scope 365 Fitness here with me today, Craig Jansen, Navy veteran. Craig, tell the audience out there why everybody in town needs to come up over here and join.
Well, Scope 365 is a 24-hour club, so we never close, unlike a lot of other clubs here in town. Additionally, our club is always super clean, and one of the things that you're going to find here is a different environment. We strive to give you a VIP experience here, so we want to get to know you. We want to know your story. We want to know about you and how we can help you succeed and meet all of your fitness goals.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, come on down to Scope 365 Fitness. You're located right here on Brim Hall. Tell us your other location.
We have another location up in Tehachapi, and then our third location here in town is also located over on Chester and Columbus in the Food Mac Shopping Center.
Thank you so much, Craig. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Denise Gary Show. Greg Bird, I'm going to get him on the phone for tomorrow, I hope. I want him to talk to us about this new legislation that's been proposed by Assemblyman Jesse Gabriel. This new member of the California State Assembly is trying real hard to reward Planned Parenthood for a $4,400 campaign contribution, a $4,400 campaign contribution he received last year. AB 624, if you want to look it up, AB 624, a bill that could put Planned Parenthood's phone number in the pocket of every California student aged 12 through 24. How could that possibly happen? By requiring every student identification card. We give every student an identification card for the school that they're attending. So everybody gets a student ID card, and it would include a sexual or reproductive health hotline number. And that number would be Planned Parenthood. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. There's so much to say about it. It disturbs me. In the meantime, Democratic-led states, now get this, so we've got a Democrat trying to get Planned Parenthood's number everywhere and on everything, including our student ID, their student ID cards, but Democrat-led states like California have allied with Planned Parenthood over this issue of the Trump administration's blocking of money to Planned Parenthood. Thank you, President Trump. I thank God for President Trump every day. So the Trump administration has a new rule that would block about $60 million, in the funding that goes to Planned Parenthood because of its constant encouragement and provoking young people and others to get an abortion. It says here, officials from Washington, Oregon, Connecticut, New York, and of course California say they will sue the Trump administration over the new rule that marks a clear line between abortion and family planning. The rule by the Trump administration is supposed to go in effect in April. It governs Title X, the federal grant program that provides funding for planning, family planning services. Ladies and gentlemen, there's lots of family planning services. People don't need to go. If you were thinking, if you're a Republican or independent, or a conservative Democrat that's thinking, wow, but the only family planning clinic is Planned Parenthood, that's a lie. That's false. I'm here to tell you. There are many vendors, many companies that are federally funded family planning clinics that aren't out there pushing abortion, that are pushing late-term abortion because it might inconvenience somebody's lifestyle. So, please know this reminds me of Reagan. The article reminded me, because I had forgotten, that President Ronald Reagan had a protect life rule, quote unquote protect life rule, which barred the co-location of federally funded family planning clinics and abortion clinics. Let me repeat that. We already had on the books once upon a time during the Reagan era, he was president for 8 years, what was called a protect life rule that didn't allow family planning clinics to be next door to an abortion clinic. I think that was a good rule. So anyway, I wanted to share out, I had highlighted that Planned Parenthood and other abortion vendors want to continue to receive Title X family planning funds. Well, we don't need Planned Parenthood to receive our tax dollars under Title X. And this is the Democrats' argument, and this is why I highlighted this. I wanted to remember to point out to you that what the Democrats are saying, what Javier Becerra, the state attorney general, is saying, is that if Trump reinstates what Reagan called the protect life rule, that if the president reinstates that this is going to hurt low-income families. It's going to hurt women that are low-income pregnant women. But this is not true. This is not true. This is what you need to point out. So women in need can receive family planning services at federally qualified centers which outnumber abortion centers 20-1. You've got a new fact you share out with everybody, that there are 20-1 family planning clinics available for every low-income, poverty-stricken woman out there that's pregnant. She doesn't have to go to Planned Parenthood for family planning. She can go to a federally funded Title X facility that's going to encourage her and give her all the help and in fact, according to this report, they have better regulatory oversight, a wider range of services, and more life-affirming options. So it's a win-win for everybody. So when Democrats say, the only family planning clinic that's going to really provide excellent oversight and encouragement and support for this new mother or this young mother or this old mother or this middle-aged mother, whatever age she happens to be, only Planned Parenthood can do that. No, These under Title X, there are federally funded federal health clinics available to women 20-1. Just pointing that out. So I hope all of you will send a message. Let's call Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom at 916-445-2841. 916-445-2841. And let's tell him that he needs to rein in Javier Becerra, the California Attorney General. Let's tell Gavin Newsom we are sick to death of Javier Becerra and the governors of the state of California, whether it was Jerry Brown before him or now Gavin Newsom, using our taxpayer dollars to fund lawsuits against the Trump administration that wants to just reinstate something that we had during the Reagan era called Protect Life Rule that wouldn't put abortion clinics side by side next to a nice little family planning clinic. that's going to provide these pregnant women the help they need. Let's call Gavin Newsom at 916-445-2841 and stop using our tax dollars to fund abortion and partial birth abortion and the execution of children that have been born alive under a botched abortion. Let's end this support of the culture of death by the Democrats and get on board with Republicans. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Denise Gary Show. When we get back, more right here.
President Trump has correctly stated that economic security is national security, and in the Tehachapi Mountains of Kern County resides a United States defense contractor, Anates Products. Here is the Silicon Valley of the aerospace industry, right here in East Kern. Anates Products is a forward-leaning manufacturer and distributor of hardware sold to major defense and aerospace companies. We're talking about Boeing, Lockheed Martin, United Technologies, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon General Electric, and on the list goes, as well as to every United States ally worldwide, including Israel, America's most important strategic ally in the Middle East. And for everything that flies, Anates Products is providing the parts. And with me today is the president of Anates Products, Scott Baker. Hi, Scott.
How you doing?
Scott, tell us why you believe this corner of Kern County is the hub of the aerospace industry.
Well, this portion of Southern California here out in the Antelope Valley, it contains, some of the most cutting edge technology going on in aviation today. We have some of the UCAS programs with unmanned technologies going on. We have Edwards Air Force Base out here who's doing continual testing in their area. We have the Naval Weapons Station up there at China Lake doing some fantastic cutting edge stuff, cruise missile technology, and those things are going on. We have Scale Composites locally doing a lot of composite technology, which is new. We have SpaceX, which is a private one, putting a private entity putting things into space now. This area is the growth center for aviation's future, and this is the area I think that as a nation we need to be concentrating some of our effort and taking this technology. And as we all know, with the space program from Apollo years ago, out of these technologies, we the private sector are going to reap some of the benefits of that.
Thank you, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Baker, president of Anates Products. Anates Products, located in the beautiful mountains of Tehachapi, California, in eastern Kern County, is home to some of the most innovative and specialized technologies in the world, including those at the U.S. Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division at China Lake, Edwards Air Force Base, as well as Strata Launch, launching satellites capable of delivering multiple orbits in a single flight to space. And it is Anates Products that has provided the manufactured devices, and the president, Scott Baker of Anates Products, Marine Corps veteran, reactivated on 9/11 to monitor threats to the homeland, is carrying on a tradition of providing for the security of the United States by manufacturing every kind of fastener on anything that flies, as well as providing a full testing destructive laboratory. Contact Anates Products, now in business for 30 years, at 661-822-6873. Located at 1314 Goodrich Drive in Tehachapi for your manufacturing and testing needs today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about this before. It's getting harder and harder due to the intolerance of Democrats, the intolerance of socialists, the intolerance of leftists or liberal progressives, whatever label you want to choose from of that list of four. We've got people on the left that are increasingly becoming more and more intolerant. Last week, we heard about a student that was a conservative that was assaulted. Apparently somebody that was a liberal, not a student at Berkeley, slugged this guy in the face, hurting his face, and the suspect, again, it says, is not affiliated with the university, according to the police department there in Berkeley, California, and the guy hasn't even been arrested yet. Well, maybe he has as of this showing, but the last time I checked before coming on the air is this individual that is a liberal progressive. I believe he's from the Hayden Williams. You know, Hayden, remember Hayden married to Jane Fonda, who supported, you know, the North Vietnamese communists. Remember all that? You know, Jane Fonda out there supporting the North Vietnamese who were torturing almost to death people like John McCain and others over there in Hanoi Hilton, where prisoners of war were being held and tortured, some to death. Jane Fonda and her husband, Tom Hayden, I believe his name was. He's dead now, right? Yeah, Tom Hayden. So this guy from the Hayden Williams Leadership Institute field, not a student at Berkeley, you know, punching a guy in the face. And it says here, the university had initially said Tuesday that the investigation was completed and the department was seeking a felony warrant, as well they should, from the Alameda County District Attorney for the identified suspect. However, the Alameda County District Attorney's Office told, and this was the Washington Free Beacon, I'm getting this from the Washington Free Beacon, told the reporter from the Washington Free Beacon that day that the matter has not yet been formally submitted for consideration of charging, and the investigation is ongoing. I mean, it seems like California is devolving into a state of anarchy against conservatives. How can you even be a Democrat? I don't even know, with all the intolerance of the left, how people could even be a Democrat. I mean, why are you a Democrat? I guess you must support murder of the unborn, socialism, and the intolerance, because that's what Democrats do. They run around beating up conservatives now. And then I think about, let's talk about something happy for a moment. So I, over the weekend, actually yesterday, beginning to prep for the show today, I saw that the SpaceX crew Dragon launch was celebrating its new era in space flight. So just the other day, it says SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule launched atop a Falcon 9 rocket at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in the pre-dawn darkness, kicked off its maiden flight to the International Space Station. So it was a big night for the United States of America. It was a big night for NASA. Remember, under the Obama administration, NASA was supposed to be used as an outreach to Muslim nations. Remember that? That was that twit named Obama, our former president. But now President Trump. So let's play that clip, and I want people to see and hear this big deal for the United States of America beginning to use space flight, not just for putting our footprint and flag on the moon, but for civilian applications, to begin to think about inhabiting and cooperating with this other planet, becoming involved with this other planet. So we've got a crew. There was a orbiting lab aboard the crew, and so we're returning human space flight this weekend. And so do we have the clip ready to go?
It's just ready to go.
Okay, go ahead. Let's listen.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
To say great activity and success. So Trump wrote on Twitter Saturday, congrats to SpaceX and all. The launch Crew Dragon went up without a problem on Saturday, March 2nd on an uncrewed, first it launched as an uncrewed test flight, and then it went up with its crew. And let's go listen in again.
Rocket as it ascends through the atmosphere carrying the SpaceX Dragon 2 capsule to
vehicle
orbit.
is supersonic.
The vehicle just passed through max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. As you can hear in the background, the excitement at SpaceX headquarters is unbelievable here.
Stage 1 throttle. Vehicle is passing through max Q.
You heard that call out from max Q on the nets. The Falcon 9 actually throttles down its 9 Merlin engines to reduce aerodynamic loads on the vehicle. It is now throttling those engines back up. Coming up at T plus 2 minutes and 35 seconds is going to be 3 events in quick succession. The first one is going to be the main engine cutoff, or MECO. That's when the 9 Merlin 1D engines that you can see on your screen right now will cut off. Shortly before a stage separation at 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Shortly after that, the Merlin vacuum engine on the bottom of the second stage of the Falcon 9 will ignite in what we call second engine start, or SES. That'll be at 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So stand by for main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start coming up in just about 20 seconds from now. As you can hear from the cheering here at SpaceX headquarters, we did have a successful main engine cutoff, a stage separation, and as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, that second stage engine is currently started and accelerating Dragon towards orbit. On the left-hand side of your screen, that is a view from the first stage as it makes its way back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, SpaceX's Crew Dragon has now demonstrated that this vehicle is ready to fly astronauts for NASA under the agency's Commercial Crew Program. So it looks like this president, once again, is working to help facilitate and support America's role in space as China continues to gear up and other nation states that are in effect enemies of the United States that we have to work with, we have to deal with. And so now it looks like the United States is back at it again and developing our role in space. Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to need it, I'm sure, going forward in the 21st century. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Denise Gary Show. We so appreciate you every day. Remember, you can catch this broadcast on my YouTube channel, The Denise Gary Show, D-E-N-I-C-E, Gary, G-A-R-Y, The Denise Gary Show, every day on the YouTube channel, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Talk America Live, internet radio broadcast. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and wonderful evening. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Denise Gary Show. Intelligent talk media.